Hey guys, Freddy here. Welcome back to another rules breakdown, and this time we're going to be looking at this, the Palladium role-playing game, also known as Palladium Fantasy, which came out from Palladium Games in 1983. Now, this is a standard rule set that Palladium tends to use, so it's going to be very similar to the Rifts rules breakdown I did a number of years ago. But I think it's worth going through just to show the slight differences. Now, as usual, I'll need a sample character. And I did some Googling, and I couldn't find any in the adventures I've got. But I did find somebody on their webpage, dysonlogos.blog, who has created a Palladium character. And this Paulson Flowstone Shaper, a Changeling Warlock at level 1. So we'll be using that as our sample. And so skills. Well, these are based on your character class, your OCC, which decides which skills you get, and the level you have them as is dependent on your level. So we can see this character as his Warlock. He has a bunch of skills down here. Now the one I'll draw attention to is Read-Write plus 20%, which he gets from choosing that as one of his elective skills during character creation. He's got a large list of skills, and he chose which ones he specialised in. So he's got that at 40%. Because if we go back to the rulebook, from page 28, we've got the secondary skills. And on page 29, we've got read-write additional language. And at level 1, it's 20%. So with his extra 20%, he's got a 40% chance. At second level, it goes up to 26. So with his 20% bonus, it goes up to 46 for him. 32, 38, right up to 92. You've got add 10% for IQ 12 or higher. Now, we throw D100 against the percentage chance, so his read-write is 40%. We throw, we get 31, so he succeeds. And skills are easy as that. They are percentage based. You get OCCs based on your character class, some of which you have chosen as specialised ones, and they go up as you go up levels, but they're based on what level you are currently. And initiative, well, it's dealt with on page 41. When two opponents square off for combat, an initiative roll is made. You roll a 20-sided dice each. The higher roll has the initiative. So this character will roll a d20. He gets a 5. The opponent gets a natural 20. So the opponent goes first. And it's as simple as that. You just roll dice, you dice off if two people get exactly the same, and in the events of things like sneak attacks, the opponent doesn't get an initiative roll at all. They don't get to act that round. And so combat. Well, combat's based on page 42. And to make an attack, you're doing a strike. A strike is the attempt to hit an opponent. After the initiative has been determined for the character with the first strike, strikes first. The defender may parry or dodge the strike and then strike back. To determine a strike, a 20-sided dice is rolled by the attacker. Any roll above a 4, a 5 to a 20 hits, doing damage to the opponent or his armour, unless a successful parry or dodge is made. So, fighting types, men-at-arms character classes, can automatically make a parry. Now, a parry is blocking the attack, and what they do is they roll a d20, and if they get equal to or higher than the attacker, then they parry that attack. Or they can do a dodge, which is replacing their entire attack. So they give up their attack, and they leap out of the way. And they get to roll a d20 similarly, and if they roll equal to or higher, they hit. Now, that dice roll is modified. If we go back to the character, we can see that this character has Weapon Friendly Battle Axe plus 1 strike. So he's going to roll his d20. He gets a 4 plus 1, a 5. His opponent is a fighting type, let's say, so they are going to roll, and if they get above a 5, or a 5 and higher, they parry the attack. And they get a 6. Everybody's rolling pretty low, but that's the way it works. So he has parried that attack. Otherwise, the attack would have hit and would have gone on to damage. And so damage. Well, damage is mainly based on what weapon you're using. You're going to be rolling a bunch of dice determined by that. But you also get bonuses based on things like your character's strength and their character class. For example, in the bonus to damage section here on page 42, example, a warrior has a +1 to damage in hand-to-hand combat, and a +2 to damage due to his strength. So, depending on your strength, you'll get a bonus, but for being a warrior, apparently you get a +1. And as you go up levels, you get other advantages, so the damage might increase. But you add those bonuses on. So, example here, it says a large sword doing 2 to 12 damage would do 2 to 12 +3 in that case, +1 for his class, and +2 due to his strength. So, we look up weapons, and we can see the battle axe here is 2 to 12 damage. So we're rolling 2d6, so we clear, 2d6 and throw, and we get 8 points of damage, because our warlock here gets no bonuses for strength or anything, he's not that strong, and he has no particular bonuses because he's a warlock. So what does 8 points of damage actually mean? Well, Palladium Fantasy is a hit point based system. So the warlock changeling here has 20 hit points. But before we take that into account, we need to look at armor. Because armor actually adds a buffer of hit points. So we can see he's wearing a quilted jacket and leggings, which are AR8, 15 SDC. Now, this means it adds 15 points of damage it can absorb. Now, it takes those damage and gets destroyed. So once it's received 15 points of damage, it's destroyed and absorbs no more. However, the AC 8 means that an opponent has to beat 8 to get through the armor. An ordinary hit will hit the opponent and the armor will take away from that damage, meaning that the character itself probably won't be damaged. It's got 15 SDC, this attack did 8, so he's not actually hurt by that. Especially as they only rolled a 5 or a 6 to hit, they rolled below an 8. If they'd rolled 8 or higher, they'd have gone straight through the armor and hit him, affecting his hit points, rather than cutting the armor away first. So, in this case, the armor takes 8 points of damage, there's still 7 points of it remaining, and his 20 hit points are not affected at all. Now, when a character is reduced to 0 hit points, they drop down into a coma. And the details of all this are on page 7 of the rules. So first of all, we've got determining hit points, but we've got recovery of hit points as well. Natural recovery is 2 per day for the first 2 days, and 4 per day for each following day, until the character has regained all their hit points. You've also got Clergy, Healing Touch, so magical characters can lay on hands and heal you up much faster. We've also got Surviving Coma and Near Death. When a character's hit points are reduced to 0 or less, he/she collapses, lapsing into a coma. Character is near death and will die in a matter of hours unless he/she receives immediate medical treatment. How much damage below 0 a character can undergo is indicated by the Physical Endurance attribute. A character can take hit point damage below 0 for each PE point. For example, a character with a PE of 9 will lapse into a coma at 0 hit points, still live up to -9. However, if he or she takes more damage than the PE, he/she is dead with no hope of recovery. Coma length. The length of time a character will survive without treatment in a coma is again indicated by PE. Add 1 hour for each PE point. For example, PE 9 equals 9 hours, PE 10, 10 hours, etc. And then we've got a section on recovery from coma. First comatose person must be medically treated and brought back to at least 1 hit point above 0. Standard medical, clerical, or magical means can be used to achieve this. After this has been achieved, the character may be able to break out of the coma. This is determined by the rolling of a percentile die, and we've got the tables below. And that can also lead to an insanity if you roll particularly badly. Also, chances of brain damage, minor or major brain damage. So, Palladium Fantasy is based on levels and experience points. You gain experience points. We've got a table on page 14 suggesting experience awards. Now, for good judgment, 50 points. For playing in character bonus, 50 points, etc. As you get the experience, you go up levels. But we need to go all the way to a character class. So here we are, the Mercenary Fighter, and we can see levels experience for the Mercenary Fighter. Level 1, he has 0 to 1900. Level 2, 1900 to 3800. And as he gets those experience, he goes up those levels. As we saw at the skills section, if we go back, as they go up levels, different skills go up. And even further back, we have bonuses for the different special skills for the character classes, and for the fighting types, their abilities with different weapons as they go up levels as well. So that's the Palladium Fantasy role-playing game, or Palladium role-playing game as it was called at this point. And it's a nice simple system. Skills are percentage based, going up by your level. Combat is based on bonuses. You're trying to get over a 4, but you're getting bonuses to your dice. And it's a nice simple parry system. I really like that. It's very, very easy to work out, and does add to a lot, because as characters get more skilled, they get bonuses to their attack, they get bonuses to their parry, so they will be able to balance each other out quite nicely. But I like it a lot. I think it's slightly different from Rifts. Many of these rules seem very, very similar. The initiative system, the skills and all that are exactly the same. But the combat does seem to have its own slight twist to it, which makes a lot more sense because you're not using guns and things like that as you are in Rifts. This is more about hacking, parrying, dodging. A lot more skill involved than just blasting away with weapons. But anyway, I think I've been wittering on for quite long enough, so thank you very much for watching as always. But most of all, you look after yourselves, and I'll catch you later. Bye now.